Director's Cut. Final narration. If you have seen a repeating arrangement of 6 shapes in the last 72 hours, Federal Health Protocol requires you to keep watching this transmission. This is Protocol 4818, Authorization Code 779 Delta, March 14th, 1985. You are receiving a Department of Public Health Services training broadcast, intended for medical personnel only. If you are a civilian viewing this transmission, your access constitutes a reportable event. Your viewing session is being logged. Do not pause this broadcast. Do not close this transmission. If geometric sequences matching the descriptions in this briefing are already present in your recent memory, you are legally required to watch to completion. The signal quality may deteriorate. This is normal. Continue viewing. The department has designated this phenomenon as the arrangement. First documentation occurred February 9th, 1985, across 3 counties in the Northeastern Medical District. It is not classified as a disease. It is not classified as a hallucination. Official designation: persistent perceptual event with cognitive transmission vectors. Initial cases involved 7 hospital staff members who processed the same patient intake form on February 7th. The form contained a geometric sequence in the header design. The form was incinerated on February 12th. All 7 staff members had already progressed to Stage 2 by that date. Critical clarification. The arrangement is not the pattern itself. The arrangement is the cognitive change that occurs after recognition. The pattern is simply the delivery mechanism. You are watching this briefing because your name, address, or viewing device has been flagged as a potential recognition event. This briefing is now part of your permanent medical record. Stage 1 symptoms begin 12 to 48 hours after first exposure to a carrier image or direct testimony from a Stage 2 individual. Subjects report seeing the pattern in peripheral vision. Common locations include tile floors, wallpaper, chain-link fences, printed text layouts, ceiling panels, window blinds. The pattern is described as having always been there. Subjects express confusion about why they never noticed it before. When attempting to describe the pattern to others, subjects experience mild dissociation. Words come out in the wrong order. Sentences fail to complete. Thoughts become circular. Case File A. School Nurse, Dalton County, February 16th. Subject began drawing the pattern on student intake forms without conscious awareness. Subject stated she was simply improving the form design. When shown her own drawings, subject could not explain the modifications. Drawings were collected and incinerated. Subject quarantined. Stage 1 is considered pre-critical. Subjects can still be isolated from further visual triggers if intervention occurs within 72 hours of first exposure. If you have experienced difficulty describing a visual pattern you have recently seen, you are required to document the date and circumstances in the incident report section below this transmission. Stage 2 onset is marked by compulsive reproduction. Subjects draw, trace, or arrange physical objects into the pattern. Subjects report a need to correct incomplete versions they encounter in their environment. Loss of time during reproduction episodes is common. Subjects often possess no memory of the activity. Case File B, Elementary School Teacher, Whitman Township, February 21st. Subject rearranged 34 student desks into the pattern configuration overnight. School custodian discovered the arrangement at 5:47 a.m. Subject was found asleep at her desk. Subject had no memory of moving the furniture. Subject stated the desks were already in that arrangement when she arrived. Stage 2 subjects become carriers. Their drawings, photographs, and verbal descriptions can trigger Stage 1 in others. Quarantine protocols failed in 73% of documented cases. Patterns were discovered drawn inside air vents, under floorboards, inside medical waste containers, on the undersides of ceiling tiles. One subject used correction fluid to draw the pattern on the back of every page in a 200-page medical textbook. The pattern spread faster than containment procedures could adapt. If you feel the urge to pause this transmission and sketch something, you are exhibiting stage 2 behavior. Do not act on this impulse. Continue watching. This channel will continue to broadcast intercepted health directives as they are recovered. Maintain your connection to this frequency for updated containment protocols. Stage 3 is defined by terminal recognition. Subjects claim to finally understand the pattern. All Stage 3 individuals report identical experiences. They state the pattern is not external. They state the pattern is a map of something that was already inside them. Behavioral collapse follows. Subjects cease eating, sleeping, speaking. Reproduction of the pattern continues with increasing complexity and precision. Case file C. Radiologist. St. Jerome Hospital, February 27th. Subject used hospital X-ray equipment to image their own body from specific angles. Subject stated they were checking for the pattern in their bones. Subject produced 47 X-rays before being sedated. Several images showed geometric artifacts that should not have been possible given the imaging angles used. The artifacts matched the pattern exactly. No Stage 3 subject has been successfully treated. No Stage 3 subject has returned to baseline cognition. All Stage 3 cases were transferred to an undisclosed federal medical facility on April 2, 1985. Stage 3 is not compatible with civilian life. Stage 3 is not reversible. Forward this transmission only to individuals who have exhibited Stage 2 symptoms or are listed as potential recognition events in your local health district. The broadcast is now repeating previous instructions. Stage 1 is pre-critical. Stage 1 is irreversible pending further review. Case File A. Case File D. Wait. There is no Case File D. If you are watching this, you have already been logged as a recognition event. The department seal is flickering. The date in the corner reads 1978. Protocol 4818 may have been running longer than March 1985. Much longer. Do you remember where you first saw this pattern? Or do you only remember being told that you saw it? Can you distinguish between the two? The memory feels the same either way. You have completed Protocol 4818. Your compliance is noted. If you recognize the pattern before this transmission, you are required to log the date and location in the incident report section below. If you did not recognize it before, you will recognize it now. This briefing was always meant for you. You were never intercepting this broadcast. The protocol itself is the exposure vector. Watching this transmission is what implants the recognition sequence. The geometric distortion you saw at the beginning is appearing again. It is lingering longer than it should. You can feel it settling into the back of your mind. Do not attempt to verify the existence of this protocol through official channels. This broadcast will repeat until recognition is universal. Protocol complete.